I'm flying.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Wait a second.
Uh-huh.
Where the hell am I? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tokes Jokes Podcast. We are here with no other, all the way from New York, the biggest artist in Denver, the loudest artist in the cannabis industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Rubezilla. Oh, wait, what? Alec already had it queued up. Those people are outside. Hey, keep it down. No, I'm kidding. What's up, dude?
TRL, man. Crazy.
Dude, you're already getting a head start on this.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
We got a little torpedo for us.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Tokes Jokes Podcast.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No, thanks for being here, man. So this is how the podcast works.
Okay.
We have 4 rounds,
Mm-hmm.
and we have 4 products of cannabis.
Oh, shit.
Each round, which you brought,
Okay.
the majority of them.
Yeah, I brought some gas.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, lots of gas. Gasoline. It smells strong in here already, and we haven't even lit anything up.
Mm-hmm.
The first product is actually going to be a 10 milligram product, and then it just keeps getting stronger and stronger as we go. So then the questions get sillier and sillier, and clearly we're going to get sillier and sillier.
Fair enough.
So the first product for round 1 is going to be a 10 milligram Jello shot from Good Times. Yes, which we didn't actually get out.
We forgot to do that.
This
I
really is TRL. Got it.
Yeah. Welcome to Total
This is
Request
what
Live. I am Carson
Daly.
Daly. What the hell happened to him, dude?
I think he's doing like Good Morning America.
Really?
Last time I saw, he was like New Year's Rockin' Eve, which is a come up, yo.
Okay.
If you're on New Year's Rockin' Eve in the future, I'm be like, damn, I was on a podcast with that guy.
Last time I saw him, I thought he looked like the dude from that movie, The Whale.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, but like as the whale, like
Fair enough.
he's blowing up pretty, and not
Dang.
not in a good way.
I guess I haven't seen him since like Josie and the Pussycats. Remember that movie?
Yes. Oh man, they don't make him like
That's
that.
why I
anymore.
have trust issues.
So Good Times. Have you ever had these guys?
I haven't.
Have you ever had a cannabis Jello shot?
No.
We had.
I try to stay away from Jello shots in general. So it's just whatever.
because they get you screwed up. You don't know what's in here,
Right.
but we know what's in here.
THC.
THC, 10 milligrams. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bottoms up. I don't know how you do this. Oh.
I hope you weren't zooming in with that.
Oh, we
Camera.
will. We will.
I'm not trying to have the internet see what that tongue do.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing. I was like, I don't want you to see.
Ugh.
I don't want you to see me finger blast this Jello shot.
Like, my tongue is, you know what? Moving on.
Speaking of finger blast, my tongue. No. Okay. So
That
first,
was actually pretty good.
thanks, man. Yeah, it
It
tastes
didn't taste
delicious.
like THC at
No,
all.
not at all. It's really tasty. It's almost too tasty. That's the thing with edibles. You know, don't you feel that? Like,
What's
when-
your favorite edible? Outside of this Jello shot, which was extremely delicious.
Personally, I'm a beverage guy. I
Okay.
like beverages.
Okay.
I think beverages are the future of cannabis.
Okay. Shameless plug. So I'm a huge Dialed In Gummies fan.
Okay.
Huge. Put all my chips on them
Yeah.
every single time. One thing that like curbs, my like drinking when I need to. They're liquid gummies. Super fire.
I've seen these on shelves.
So good. Obviously it's more than just like mixing it with soda and shit and just like taking in a bunch of sugar.
Is it like a syrup?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a syrup, dude. So it's like a pour up. Think of like,
Put it in any
Texas screw and
cocktail. And it's 10 milligrams per serving, or
I mean,
is it?
read the bottle. I'm not here to dose you, bro. I'm not gonna even tell you how to use it, but medicate responsibly.
Okay. What's your favorite flavor?
Shit.
Because they come out with different flavors each.
They come out with different flavors, but it's more of the collab for me.
Okay.
Like when they collab with the Soy Cubano guys. I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of Soy Cubano. Obviously, anytime they collab with Laser Cat, you gotta snatch that shit up.
Right.
Because you're gonna get smacked.
Well. On that note, give us a little bit of more background on Rubezilla. How did you start in the art game? Like, you started as a graffiti artist? Is this right?
Yeah. Well, do you have a lighter?
You're already skipping around too, all right? You're like, screw the rounds, dude. I just rolled this baby
No,
up.
I had to think.
Okay. Yeah.
This is
No, you're good.
preemptive spark. You know what I mean? I have to make sure I don't move without payment first.
Hey, dude.
You know what I mean? Art. Not
say no more.
Just
say
joking.
no more.
So I had a boring ass job. I was a banker forever, like an underwriter.
When was this?
Like 2015, 2016.
Okay.
I'd like gotten out of the military. Different story.
What branch?
Marine Corps.
Nice, man. Semper Fi.
Hoorah.
That's what's up. My dad was in the Marines.
It's tight.
Yeah.
Yut.
Gunnery sergeant.
Yeah, he understands.
Oh, yeah. I do, too.
Okay, got it. Yeah, you know.
I was a little soldier myself.
Yeah,
not by choice.
Yeah. Nah, I shield my kids away from that whole part of it.
Yeah. I had to make my bed, every morning. I had to have a clean cut. I had to watch Full Metal Jacket every year. Like it was my religion.
Every Saturday.
Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, I'm glad that, like that whole part of my life really bleeds into a lot of what I do now. I was never like the whole, ultra patriotic person. That's not even why I joined. I just like didn't want to like end up a statistic. I think where I was from.
That's what's up.
So
you probably pulled a lot of like discipline from that.
Oh,
experience.
Bro, for sure. Like it's why I'm able to work like 48 hours straight. And
I believe it.
Keep my shit together and just I literally run off of coffee and weed. I try to like microdose shrooms here and there. But like generally, man, it's just like having that. Just internal discipline that you belong to something bigger than yourself.
Absolutely.
Even post Marine Corps, like I never wanted to be the dude who just like wore the hat and said, "Thank me for my service."
Right.
I was like, nah, bro. Life is bigger than that.
100%.
Not to take anything away from anybody who wears a Vietnam hat to this day.
No.
Mad respect.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Jesus, that's like the ultimate sacrifice.
But yeah, getting into art though, it's just like art was something that I always did. We all do. You like deep. No matter who you are, deep down inside, it's just you. Like we're all creatives. My relationship with psychedelics changed one day, and my internal, conversation started to shift. And
let's dive deep into that.
Oh yeah.
What psychedelic experience triggered all of this?
All right. Yeah. So not saying that anyone needs a psychedelic experience to unlock their power.
I'm saying they need it.
Yeah, I'm definitely saying the inappropriate exploration in that sign could definitely show you things about yourself that you may have overlooked your entire life.
Oh, for sure.
I remember the point before I ever did acid. Acid was the first psychedelic I've ever done.
How old were you?
Bruh, I was late bloomer.
Yeah.
I was 27, 28.
Wow.
Yeah, it was post Marine Corps. And I was honestly.
That makes sense because if you would have done it before, you wouldn't have went.
Yeah, so honestly, shout out some of my homies in the Marines. I had dudes under me who pause. I had junior Marines.
Wait a second.
Let's
dive deep into that.
No, but I had just younger Marines who rather than me just outcasting them and flaming their lives, whatever. Just all right, cool, you smoke weed, that doesn't make you the worst Marine. You're still badass. And there was one dude who was really open about his psychedelic use in the past before the military.
Okay.
And I remember one day just hating my life and job and looking up and seeing how Oprah and Mark Zuckerberg and all of the world's billionaires just take ayahuasca retreats and shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm a huge Beatles fan. Right. Don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Yeah, man.
Great. I'll fight you.
Have you ever read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck?
No, but I see it on everyone's table.
Really?
Everywhere I go, anyone who I get along with has that in their house.
There's an interesting aspect of that book where they talk about the Beatles.
Yeah.
And there's this guy, Pete Best, who was the original drummer before, what's his name?
Ringo,
yeah.
Okay. I'll fight you.
Yeah. I'm I know you would know. But yeah, so he got kicked out of the Beatles way before they blew up.
Damn.
And then he just went on to live a normal life. And then in the book, he compares it to this dude from Metallica, who was also kicked out. And then that dude went off to make Megadeth.
Yeah.
And those two were interviewed side by side to see who's happier after all that happened. And it turns out Pete Best is a much happier person because the other dude constantly compared his success to Metallica.
Right. Damn, that's a wild point.
Yeah.
Just bringing it all back is just art, right? Freeze. And for me, the Beatles were like a huge voice in like pushing me to psychedelia and stuff like that. Like at the time where I just started like hitting wax pens and shit.
Right.
So look me up, Google it. Fucking morning coffee was a thing, dude, back in like 2013, 2014.
Okay.
Out in Denver, I was just like printing words on shirts. This is be a good person and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like cheesy sayings. Your vibes attract your tribes. And I was just sold some shit on the internet. Ended up like selling that licensing for a lot of money.
That's
to
awesome.
Some guy in Canada.
Was that so that was the beginning of your
This
art?
was that was like the precursor to me sort of like figuring like I had like started a t-shirt company. This was like before pre-Rubezilla. Anybody knew who the fuck I was.
Okay. What was the company called?
Morning Coffee.
Morning Coffee.
And it was just literally based off of like my consciousness like cracking. So toward the end of that, a good friend of mine had just gifted me 2 tabs of acid.
Okay. As
at
they
work.
do.
Yeah, that's how it should always be, right?
At work.
Yeah, bro.
He was in HR and
Literally.
hey, take this.
So for Father's Day that year, I had like just come back from like the Caribbean for a little bit. Family member got married, so I spent a lot of time down there. It was great. But when I came back, one of the first things I did was like check out a room at the Brown Palace, spent the night and tripped 12 hours of acid.
By yourself?
By myself.
Wow.
I bought an iPad that day. The same day I had like bought
While
an iPad.
tripping?
Yeah, right before the
Okay.
trip. It was just, like, my
I don't
father's
want you in the
gift.
Apple store like, dude, I need an iPad, bro.
Yeah, no, I bought an iPad with the pencil. I was like, this is the shit they be making Disney movies with? Tight. So,
It's funny how simple some of this shit is sometimes, right? Like for certain folk, like you're like, you know what, dude? Like I could do that.
Yeah. It's just so as I was tripping, like that super benevolent voice pops up, and it's just mad comforting, and like the person that I am to like other people, I was like finally that person to me in my head,
right?
Ironically,
right.
And that I talked myself into art.
Okay.
Like that ass. And like during an acid trip. So after that, I had like, this was pre-faces. Like I was trying to do a bunch of different stuff and figure out what my style was. Like that's why like a lot of artists out now, like, you know, you'll meet them like just because the artist maybe isn't there right now and the shit that they're showing you isn't like the coolest thing in the world. Like give that person time to figure it the fuck out and blossom, and then like you can have a Dink and a Chris Haven and all these people behind me type shit,
right?
You know? Because like I remember pulling up on Dink and Birdcap and shit when they were at the at walls and festivals, and I was just like some dude in the alley, like, hey, I like your art.
Yeah.
You get paid to do that?
For
like,
sure.
I was one of those people, and
aren't those dude? Those are the coolest moments, though, as a human.
Yeah.
Like people that you looked up to, and all of a sudden you're like rubbing elbows with them.
I mean, I'm just getting yelled at today by Birdcap for his wall not being buffed.
Whatever you say, Birdcap.
Yeah, it's amazing, dude.
You like to pinch yourself, like, what is life?
Fuck yeah, dude. I got to, like, this year, I got to commission all of the people who inspired my career directly. Hyro, Birdcap, Chris Haven, Nitros. Motherfucker, like, y'all don't even have his cover. What? I'll flex on you. No, I'm playing. But, like, the fact that, like, the dude, you know, like, we all share the same network enough to, like, you know, be able to have coffee with some of these guys.
And be friends.
Right,
Yeah.
like, genuine peers. And I really like what like street art, you know, had to offer. Obviously, I know I'm getting away from the question.
No, you're right
because
on point.
it is super rooted in like the whole spirit of what psychedelia was, right? For me, like getting my first trip and that breaking my consciousness enough to like
things take off from there,
Yeah,
and you
dude.
didn't even expect that to happen.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm the same way.
you get it.
I remember like watching, you know, the movie Rocket Man on Disney, that old movie with Harlan Williams. I used to watch that in my bunk bed, like on repeat, anytime it was on Disney. And then last May, I booked Harlan Williams and we performed together at the Boulder Theater.
Manifestation.
You know, it's like one of those times where you're like, Jesus Christ, 7-year-old me is freaking out right now.
Yeah,
You know,
dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. There's so the first painting I ever sold was at like the Su Teatro down off of Santa Fe, the theater.
Was that the so like before you get to that though?
Yeah.
What was the first painting ever? Was graffiti? Was that your first?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Yeah, let's go to. I want to go to the start.
Okay, yeah. So when when I was like, I'm gonna do this, I had a couple cans of Krylon in my garage. Do not recommend. 1010 would not. Had a couple cans of Krylon in my garage. My ex-wife at the time. This isn't me bashing her. You know, she's a lovely lady and stuff. But at the time, like, her and I, like, just our energies weren't vibing, and it was kind of like, you know, I'm watching TV. Get the fuck away from me.
Right.
Go find something to do.
Right.
So,
because you were at that point out of the Marines.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like, we had already morphed into different people. And
that's life.
Yeah, life. So I'd, like, found myself in the backyard just, like, painting on old furniture, on pieces of trash and shit, and, like, the shed. Out. And this is, like, a weird story. You can G-check it if you want to. If you need to go fact check me.
Hey, Janie, pull that up real quick.
But I had, like, started to reconnect with my birth father at the time. And the only thing I ever knew about my birth father is that, like, he sold drugs and he painted graffiti. You know, it's not like...
Whoa, apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, dude.
What I didn't know is that my dad was actually a muralist.
Wow.
Like, in high school, like, he got tons of art awards. He got a scholarship and a deal from RCA Records back in the day.
Are you about to be like, and his name's Banksy? Like,
No. He actually... he threw that all the way to, like, trap coke with all of his cousins and shit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
In New York?
Yeah, in New York City and stuff. And this is, like, around, you know, this is, like, the 80s or whatever. So, like, my parents were in the birth of it all.
That's like gang. That's like...
ready for this one? My dad used to rob LL Cool J.
What?
Yeah, bro. That's not a fucking lie. I'd FaceTime my mom right now.
Tell me more.
Yeah, nah. So...
How the hell did that happen?
My mom lived in Queens. My dad was a dude from Manhattan and shit. You know, they just had, like, a toxic New York Puerto Rican relationship. My mom was, you know, a scene girl, so she was with the flyest dude or whatever.
Right.
And at the time,
AKA your dad.
Well, LL, who was, like, an up and coming rapper.
Your mom was with LL.
She used to date him in high school.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow.
So she didn't want to be with him because he used to get punked and jumped and robbed all the time by these coke dealers.
Because he's kind of like Will Smith in a way, right? Where
he's
clean and...
Yeah. And this isn't me talking shit on LL, because I'm sure we'll cross paths and stuff, and I'm going to have to, like, recite the story to him. He's going to be like, yo, fuck you.
Right, yeah.
Stop telling you this, dude. Yeah, that's when the Illuminati's going to take me out of shit.
Or you do what do you call it? You do a 23andMe and find out LL's your dad.
No, if I didn't look identical to my father, and, like, this story didn't check out the fact that, like, at 26 is, like, when I first called my pops up, like, yo, where the fuck are you? Hey, I'm Ruben. What's up? Hey,
what was his response?
He was like, hey, what's up? Yeah, this is Ruben. And I'm like,
his name's also
this is Ruben. And he's just like, yeah, this is Ruben. And I'm like, no, this is your son, Ruben. He's like, oh, what's up, Rube?
No.
Yo, he hit
like
me nonchalant.
Yo,
he hit me like, yup. And then I was like, yo, what's up? That's my energy.
Yeah.
So I'm also like, hey, you're cool, I'm cool.
And you guys have been cool ever since, or?
You know, I'm just like, it's a working relationship. I mean, I'm a 35-year-old man, so, like, I don't have any smoke for, like, any of my parents and shit. Like, we're all humans.
Yeah.
So we all, like...
You gotta move past that.
Yeah, totally. So, like, nothing but love for any of my parents.
I think people that hang on to that kind of stuff, they're kind of damaged. They need to let go.
The man that raised me was, like, my mom's husband and shit.
Okay.
So, like, they were two polar opposite people. Like, he was a cop. My real dad was an ex-felon, 2-time felon for trapping coke.
Damn.
You know, all my uncles and shit like that were doing their thing. But, like, on this other half, like, you have my mom, who was very deeply tied to this world. And, like, she was also trying to move on.
Right.
Like, you know, any person caught in the middle, whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, back to my dad and shit. When we started talking, it was one day, like, this was, like, maybe years later into us talking. We had never discussed art and stuff like that. He had heard me spray painting. And he was like, yo, what are you doing? And I, like, let him, I was like, I'm painting Sarah's board, da, 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 da. And he had, unloaded just fucking a wealth of knowledge of just his whole life of graffiti and everything that, like, the things he could have did different, the things that he did wrong, and, like, my father schooled me to the game. Like, I was living out here in Denver, not even New York, when I was busting tags for the first time.
And he got you stoked,
like,
on it.
It was my pop, like, knowing that, like, my middle name, my name's Ruben Del, Cabrera.
Okay.
Right? Ruben D. Cabrera. The D is for Del. The Del is the man who put him on the graffiti. So his OG is who I'm named after.
That's crazy.
So like I paint, and I don't even call myself a graffiti writer, just because there's so many people who like really are in the fucking culture. I feel like I'm, like it's in my blood, obviously.
No, it feels like it's like you're like destined.
For sure.
I mean, come on, after a story like that, it's
I
like Peter
paint,
Parker.
bro.
It's like,
yeah, absolutely. That shit's just like it's for me. So that's why like even with like my career, the emphasis is just always on preserving that culture more than me trying to represent that culture.
Yeah.
More than me trying to go out here and be like, oh, I'm the coldest graffiti writer. I'm this, I'm that. Like, nah, bro. Let me learn all the history of the game. That hold it close to me, because like I can be a conduit for the next generation.
Right.
And if it's me fucking out here striking deals with dispos and weed companies to get walls and money and shit like that to keep the art going and keep these artists paid or whatnot.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's my responsibility, and I think that's just what my calling has been these last 5
you're
years.
naturally a leader.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's sort of the origin of Rubezilla. The name came after.
The name comes from my snapping turtle as a kid. I had a snapping turtle
Named Godzilla?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
And
you were like,
my name to
screw it, I'll just do this.
Straight up.
Well, that's a perfect segue for round 2, baby.
Can I light this blunt out?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Now this blunt.
This for you, bro.
This blunt. Is this blunt Artsy's Purple Urkel inside here?
No, the next blunt is going to be Artsy's
Oh.
Purple Urkel. I hope you got 2 in you.
Oh, I got 2 in me. I mean, we got 4 rounds.
Sick. There's 6 lungs between us.
So what do we got rolled up here then?
This is Jenny's Dutch Botanicals Living Soil. So
This guy right here.
it's one of these little pretty cases.
Look at that is amazing.
Jenny's super cool because not only is she like try to push innovation when it comes to packaging, give you more than just like Mylars are dope. Don't get me wrong, I collect Mylars like Pokemon cards at this point.
Yeah.
But you put fire weed in just like a regular sandwich bag or some shit. It's just
like you would back in the day.
Yeah, but
remember when the packaging was universal? It wasn't all this fancy stuff. It was a Ziploc.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah. Or a grocery
Sharpie.
bag melted together with your lighter. Melted closed.
I appreciate Jenny because in any like innovative packaging, mainly because like it legitimately enhances your experience.
Absolutely.
It's why my Nikes come in a fun box.
I like that. Could be a brand right there. Fun box. Well, let's go on to some of our questions here, man.
Let's do it.
How do you feel about the gentrification of graffiti? Is it still cool to tag a Starbucks or a Whole Foods? What's the deal with there?
Man, I don't know if I'm answering this question right, but I just left Soho, New York, and I looked at the Supreme store, and that bitch was fucking grilled.
Tagged up?
Pull up a picture of Supreme Soho right now, bro, and I guarantee you that shit looks like a mailbox. It looks like a lunch table desk.
Damn.
Graffiti's gonna happen whether or not you like it. Graffiti happened as like Egyptians and shit.
Yeah, it's like hieroglyphics of modern day.
I do think like it's a huge topic when it does come to muralists. So that's why like street art and murals versus graffiti are like 2 different conversations. That's why there's so much infighting.
What is the difference?
Well, I mean, graffiti is vandalism and illegal, and in some places like New York City, you're not just like catching a tag for funsies.
Yeah.
You're breaking a federal fucking crime.
Well, that segues to a good question, man. When was the first time or any time that you have been chased by the cops because you were tagging? Has that ever happened?
First time ever?
Yeah.
I was probably like 12 with my cousins. I wasn't like fucking getting up. They were stealing stuff.
Yeah.
They were just being badass kids.
Yeah.
We were like looking out for the cops.
In Queens?
Running. This was Buffalo.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah, upstate.
Looking out for the cops in general, as a little cousin and shit when I would go hang out. That was just what
You're
I
watching
did.
out for them?
Bro, my uncle would fucking keep me in the front seat while he ran his trap. When he ran his trap errands. Why? Because
So you got a crash course in this.
yeah, it's just my family was really cool because it wasn't like, hey, this is what we're doing. It's just like,
This is life. Yeah. So the first time you ever.
So like first time I ever like had to duck off from the cops. I don't know. Plenty of times.
Yeah.
I'll say the first time in the city of Denver though. My first time in Denver was probably I was under like the Platte River Bridge over there off Santa Fe.
Okay.
I was doing one of the drainage tunnels and shit, and I remember just like I must have been in there for like 45 minutes getting this piece, really think I'm doing some shit, and I'll send you guys the picture so you see how trash it is. So we can laugh at it.
Yeah.
I
will feature it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I really thought, fuck you. We'll put it on the cover.
Yeah, we'll report you to the police. So you're down there, you're tagging the tunnel. Wow,
yeah, and
happens?
it's at the very end. I'm putting away my paint, and it hits me. I'm like, damn, I didn't once like look. I could have had a bum roll up on me.
Right.
Could have had a cop, and
you didn't have your cousins to help you out.
I didn't have anybody
Yeah.
like anybody around me and shit. And I just went alone like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
You got jumped by another painters and stuff like that.
Really?
Like, that shit happens.
So other graffiti artists will like there's turf.
Yeah, that's not me snitching.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that. That's just the rules of the game. If you're gonna get up and paint, that's one of the things that like Denver is good and bad for.
Yeah.
Denver has like a lot of crews, which is mad dope because they fucking get up and they crush.
Have you been part of a crew before?
Maybe.
Yeah, but I guess what's interesting about the interview, right, is like that's a whole other world of like, it's like when that documentary came out of dudes like climbing skyscrapers and taking those photos when they're like illegally not supposed to be up there.
Yeah, I know one of those guys.
Yeah, I bet you do. What is that world like? Like, is there like, you know what I mean? Like, how does one get into that? How do you become part of that community?
Okay, yeah, and that's honestly probably the best question because like there are a lot of people who I've seen just like one day or one summer just like, you know what? I'm going to pick up graffiti.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick up murals.
Yeah, I'm going to break the law.
Yeah, and like not realize that you get catch is like a 12-month offense.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
It's you get
Denver,
locked up
I'm
for
pretty
a
sure
year?
it's just 12 months. Yeah, in
Wow.
first offense out here. But in New York, places like New York, it's a strike. It's a federal fucking offense.
Really?
Yeah, for like even hitting a marker tag type shit.
That is insane.
Back in the 80s, I want to say, you can Google up until when they changed the law, but like, cops were able to shoot graffiti writers, bro. So many graph writers have died just for fucking making art, bro. Not even breaking the law, and just like, look up Style Wars if you've never seen it. It's probably the most profound and impacting like documentary and movie any graph writer has watched.
Okay.
It's like our Bible.
Yeah.
And it's just like the resurgence of the scene, of the graph scene in the 80s and like what it really meant to those kids and why graffiti is so dope to me. And I only teach kids. Like, I'll never teach a class of adults to fucking paint. I refuse.
Okay.
Kids forever, because it was 11 to 17-year-olds who started the scene. Mm-hmm. And even in New York, like, started crews. If you look up Mike 171, he's a 67-year-old man. I was just smoking a blunt with him a few days ago.
Really?
In New York. Lives in Astoria now.
Is he still doing it?
Still fucking getting up and tagging and just, like, breathing and living the scene. He understands, like, the legacy that he created, and it's so dope. He's a walking artifact.
Yeah.
Go to any museum around the world that does an installation on New York City graffiti, and Mike 171 and Steve and SJK, those guys are like, they're our Moseses and shit, which is incredible.
Dude, I mean, think about like my first thought is like, wow, the risk, like that's got to be the most risk an artist is taking just to get their work done.
You ask how you get into the world, and it's just like it's the risk, and like you
who
understand
takes the biggest risk,
right? And like you roll with a group of psychopaths who are like, all you can think about is painting. When I started painting, dude, I was still working at the bank and pre-Rubezilla shit. It's all I could fucking think about. I was painting on my lunch break out of my trunk in the parking lot, and then I would like leave to go to the golf course over there off of 225. To go paint on my lunch break. Come back covered in paint, just stinking like weed and fucking Rust-Oleum.
Yeah.
Like, eventually I just had to quit, bro. I like walked in one day, I was like, yo, fuck, now I quit.
I'm done with this.
Yeah. I got a security job, and this is kind of rolls into the whole Rubezilla stuff. I got a security job, and this is like, all I kept saying was I'm a painter. When people would ask me like, what do you do? I stopped saying that I worked for a bank. I stopped saying anything other than I'm an artist.
Right.
It's like what I believed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all these opportunities kept coming. So finally I was like, yo, fuck
Paid
this.
gigs.
No.
Obviously.
Boy, this new money. No,
Right.
no,
like,
bro. No. Opportunities more like, to get yourself those things. And
Gotcha.
It takes a long time.
I mean, how do you choose what I don't know, building, I guess, or whatever it is you choose to tag? Like, what is the goal? Like,
when it's illegal, like that's just the itch, bro.
Yeah.
For me personally, I have my own set of like prerequisites on like what I want to tag, how I want to tag, where I want to tag.
Yeah. It's like an adrenaline rush.
For sure. The whole sport of graffiti, once you understand like the inner workings,
dude,
bro.
let's get into the
Dog,
sport.
Man. Like graffiti is a sport in general.
I mean, I'm on a train.
Yep.
I've been on trains in many cities throughout my life. And it's never not happened where I'm on the train and I'm like, how the fuck did somebody even spray paint that? It's so high. It's dangerous to get there. Like,
huge
what?
too sometimes.
Yeah.
That's part of the respect built into it. Like those pieces that are just like really block rollery.
Like, what are they? Are they getting like are they actually getting the painter thing?
They really get a fucking roller and they'll bust that out. But the fact that someone's doing that grand of a production with a roller piece, writing their name in whatever time of night or broad daylight, breaking the law, is like, what?
It's insanity.
That's a fucking half court shot type shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When like,
That's a big fuck you.
oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's dropping your balls on the table and being like, yeah, that's me.
So every city you'll see like certain names. I'm sure you guys have driven past and seen like a TKO tag or a shoe tag or a fucking RGK, C2K, AMK, like all these different crews.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, Elemental P,
like
QRS.
MDR is a big one out here.
TUV.
Yes.
W, X, Y, and Z. That's the entire alphabet.
But yeah, like now, just start taking account when you're driving through Denver, like some of the common
Those first
shit.
ones you said, I actually swear to God.
For sure, and those are like crews, and then there's like certain names, and like when you start seeing like the same person, just go watch the movie Style Wars. Anybody listening, or just even you, go do your homework.
It's a documentary.
It's on YouTube, bro.
YouTube?
Fucking it's an hour and some change long. You'll love it.
Yeah.
Here, this is yours, by the way.
Oh shit.
Well, in that regard, when was the first time you smoked weed? It was that long ago.
No, like first time I smoked weed. Ah, man.
No, just
probably
weed.
like-
No, just weed.
No, weed. No, I'm not trying to think like it being me in the same room as a kid or like catching a contact in a car because it's just
Yeah.
like,
No, the first time you were
the
like,
first time I like took the joint.
I'm doing.
Oh, weed.
Yeah.
I was like 17, dude.
Nice.
It was just
It was a joint.
yeah, it was a joint. The October storm we had fucking in Buffalo.
Okay.
The whole city shut down. Yeah, my friend James from across the street, he was just like, I got some weed.
No way.
Yeah, dude. Fucking, we went to the baseball diamonds.
Was it his first time too?
No, I don't think so. He was doing drugs.
He was one of those friends. Everybody's got one of those.
Yeah,
friends.
so like I got into girls and sports, and he got into drugs and video games.
Yeah.
So that's like where we split.
That's what's up.
So like we would, we still keep in touch. Like
No way. I love
every now and then, but like we're, people grow. It's whatever.
But then the next best question is, when was the first time you got caught smoking weed by your parents?
Never.
Never.
No,
We
bro.
got a pro here, ladies and
Come
gentlemen.
on, man.
Hit that applause, bro.
I never once, bro. Listen, man. So all right, let's not get into
Never been caught.
So I wasn't like a stoner as a kid at
Okay,
all.
okay.
At all. I was actually a really good kid. There was just a lot going on in my personal life and shit. So like towards the end of high school, my mom was really sick and stuff, and I was like, just trying to find direction.
Yeah.
I liked this girl who used to like go to this church that I played basketball with, so I tried to be good and stuff. I ended up getting a scholarship to this super weird college that I almost got kicked out of.
What?
So I wasn't allowed to come back. I tell everybody that I couldn't afford to pay tuition, but
Well, 'cause
essentially
you were in the Marines for how long?
this was before the Marines.
Way before the Marines.
Yeah.
So did you smoke weed before you, like a lot?
Yeah.
Before? Yeah.
So all right, after like I started smoking weed with my friend James in the October storm. Then I like got this job at T-Mobile where I was making more money than I knew what to spend it on.
Really?
And I didn't spend it on coke. So
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I was still young. I was like an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So I'd smoke bowls in the fucking parking lot with one homie in his car and shit.
Just every now and again, it was like trying to get.
But again, like I
break up the day.
wasn't a stoner. It was just like, weed's here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Take the edge off.
If I'm at a party, and then like I wanted to go to college to play basketball and shit. So, obviously you can't smoke weed because drug testing. And then after that, I couldn't afford college. So before the Marines, ready? Yeah. Not many people know this.
Yeah.
I was a medical study patient.
Oh.
I used to go like test shit, like pills. Or whatever.
Oh,
the fuck.
like you were like
a lab
clinical
rat.
trials.
Yep.
That
I
was
used to make thousands of dollars.
So when they were testing out Viagra, you were in some lab with a big
Penis
boner. Your Rubezilla is just in a white lab coat.
You ask, where's Rubezilla come from? This is from.
Side effects may include.
Here's become Rubezilla.
That's how Rubezilla was born.
Right,
that'd be your comic book story.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
We're doing clinical trials on it. Jesus. Side effects may include the want to and need to tag buildings illegally.
But yeah, no, I feel like me really getting into graffiti was sort of like that was a coping mechanism from like trying to get out of the military, right?
Yeah.
Like you go through 3 months of boot camp and then you do shit or whatever the fuck.
How much did you miss weed though during that time?
Not very much. Like I wasn't a huge pothead.
Yeah.
Like I dated a girl or I was like seeing her before I left for boot camp who smoked a little bit of weed.
Okay.
And then I like had to stop smoking before boot camp and stuff.
Of course.
So like I was already broken from it, and I wish I can say I have an addictive personality.
Yeah. Even to this day, how much do you smoke weed?
Oh, I smoke weed all day.
Okay.
Weed. We'll get into why I smoke so much weed, but it was after like the same day I got out of the military. Like I started smoking weed probably like my last few months, like consistently in the military. One of my buddies, he came to tattoo me from Buffalo. And like flew in, left a couple joints, and I was still in the military for a few months, and I like smoked those joints, walk into the grocery store, and they would blow my mind.
Really?
So then I'd smoke with my little cousin, do bong rips. So when I finally got out of the military, first thing I did on my way home was buy weed from a dispensary. And I haven't stopped smoking since.
My first stop.
Yeah, dude. I just fell in love with weed. It's just my favorite psychedelic. People don't give it credit to that.
This is a perfect stopping point to get us to round 3. Now, round 3, it's really not even that crazy. Since you just, unbeknownst to us, rolled up a fucking big fat blunt. Rubezilla is in the house.
We can spark more, bro.
We need, where are those joints? Where'd they go?
Over here.
Oh, yeah. We got 2. No, I got 3. We got 3 fat joints. 3 fat joints. And who are they from? They're from Indico. You brought these from Spark Dispensary, right?
Yep, that's right.
Indico.
Indico is one of my favorite weed growers out here.
Yeah? The packaging's amazing.
Josh and the homies grow fire weed. But like fire weed and giving you a fire experience. So
apparently it's child-proof and Brad-proof.
Damn, bro.
Damn.
Do you need help?
Maybe.
Here,
Let's
trade
trade.
these.
Yeah, let's trade.
Let's
trade. It's not root-proof.
Sometimes I'm wow, that was too
That was
smooth,
too
bro.
smooth, dude. God damn it. God damn it, Groove. How high did you get me with this blunt? Can't even open up the goddamn box.
Because it's a boom box, and then they put a little.
That thing's amazing.
That's sick. What is that?
That's
a cassette. Yeah, I'm not that old, bro.
Remember cassettes? I love them.
Yeah, I remember cassettes. I was born in 1988,
yeah.
bro.
I'm just
yeah, we used to have to record off the radio for our mixtapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids don't know that shit.
I'm just 4 years after you, dude.
Yeah, dude, fucking. Imagine waking up and just I look at my kids and I'm like, damn, like I gotta teach you Spotify. I don't have to teach you CDs.
Yeah.
I don't have to teach you how to get an MP3 off of LimeWire. None of that shit.
Yeah.
It's just Spotify. You can fucking listen to NBA YoungBoy. Idiot.
Yeah, you don't have to push rewind and hear this thing sound like a vacuum for like 20.
Put the pencil in the back and screw the tape back in.
Or yeah, you have to like do the finger thing where you're twisting it all right back. Oh no, it ate my tape. Oh man. Okay. Well, How about this for the first question of round 3?
All right, let's do it. I'm getting high, FYI.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you are.
Do you think Banksy is overrated?
No, absolutely not. I don't think any artist is overrated. I'm gonna go ahead and say, there's tons of stencil artists out there. But the whole point of graffiti is to get up and make noise. And if the whole world's talking about you, then you're winning the game of graffiti. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, yeah, if you think graffiti, most of the world, if you were to ask a 62-year-old white lady or a 62-year-old lady from Colombia, and you're like, anything about graffiti, and if she had one morsel of knowledge, it's probably going to be Banksy or, like, the dude throwing the flowers or some shit.
Yeah,
so, like, I don't know, when you think graffiti, like...
That's the Joe Montana.
The normal person. Right, the normal person, the person who doesn't play the sport.
Right. I said Joe Montana.
I said Joe Montana. I bet you I'd throw a football over the mountains right there.
2 different movies, 2 football references. We just became best friends.
That was a slam dunk, yo.
Cheer it up, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Now shut up. Okay.
That joint is hit.
Dude, I'm so excited.
It's super delicious.
Yeah, this is Gary Poppins strain. So back to Banksy really quick.
Yes.
Nobody knows who this person is. Is this true? He's not nobody's ever really
Yeah, so
identified
that's
him?
honestly why, like, if you're going and paying money to see a Banksy exhibit, you're getting robbed. It's not real.
It's not affiliated with him.
Yeah, not at all.
Because he's wanted, right?
And I mean, the minute he comes on, I was like, oh, that's Myers. The minute they got him.
They got cuffs on.
Yeah, but, like, it's dope because, like, you'll go to cities where they put bulletproof glass over his shit. Like, what? What? Could you imagine if they fucking put a bulletproof glass over a Rubezilla piece? That motherfucker's still alive, allegedly. You know what I'm saying?
Rube who?
Yeah, allegedly. But, like, yeah, dude, when you see that, like, I geek out when I see a Banksy piece. When I see a Black Lerat piece, you guys don't know who that is, but you Google him. And he's also, like, a stencil artist. People will confuse his shit for Banksy. But he's also very widely known and celebrated. But, like, for me, when it does come to graffiti and murals, like, bro, I saw a Cope tag in New York City. Yeah, I fucking geeked.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's still, like, places where you'll find a scene tag and from the 80s type shit. So, I think what graffiti is and always was is, like, our modern day hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
That's why I got into. I've always loved the pyramids and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the Egyptians and trying to figure out what, where we all came from. I think we all do deep down inside. And a small piece of that is like, all right, those motherfuckers wrote on walls. So when the aliens came down, or even us trying to figure out what happened, we're trying to read the walls. What the fuck you think's gonna happen after, like, if we all evaporate one day because of us being stupid? The aliens are going to come down and be like, damn, there's a whole bunch of pictures of Tupac painted everywhere. Was this their god? So
something's not right here.
It's kind of crazy that I was talking to my friend about this. It's just like, yeah, at the end of the day, like, you do have, like, a historic displacement of people in different cultures throughout the world and shit. And, artists just like the Sistine Chapels and, obviously a good segue into Spark, but, like,
that's where I was going with it.
Yeah,
I mean, like, we got a modern day Michelangelo right here on the pod, dude.
Stop playing with me.
I mean, for real. You tell us what you got going on at Spark. It's amazing.
So the reason why, like, if you do pull up the Spark and you're gonna see, like, a lot of, it looks like Romanesque or Greek paintings or whatever, Renaissance. I'm high. Is I was trying to explain to you the other day, is just like what the Medici family was to the Renaissance. They were able to speak for that moment in history, right, through the artists. So they commissioned all that art. We want to say selflessly, but really, like, they got to control the narrative, if you will.
Yeah.
And these artists got to live fantastic, fat, awesome, comfortable lives, right?
Right.
Cannabis industry is kind of, utilized correctly. Like, we are able to
express ourselves in so many.
yeah,
different
right.
ways.
Purely leave behind the history of the culture while like taking care of all the people.
These are picked up by the mic.
Oh, my bad.
No,
I'm
you're
fucking
good.
around with it.
You're good.
Yeah, but like, so the like likening the relationships like weed, to the Medici family for me was just like, we do have this resource, right? This unlimited resource within all of us called creativity.
Yeah.
And there is this plant that is kind of like jailed by regulation and fucking capitalism. That's a whole different story, but
We can get into that.
that's exhausting because like at the end of the day we all gotta eat and like yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, if we could all just be butt naked and live in the forest, I'm sure we'd still be like, damn, I need fur though.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't kill that bull. It's just like catch-22 with everything in this reality, and that's just why like we live in a matrix.
Yeah,
Because it's
we
just,
tried that. It didn't work.
Yeah.
I like when people say, "Man, if we could just go back and."
No, it's not gonna work.
It's like no,
we made cars for a reason.
Yeah, like,
Cars have air conditioning.
This is the way we're going. We're not going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Long story short, though, is like what art, graffiti, and weed all have in common for me is just like they were my steps into like a brand new reality, a brand new life. I told you here, I fucking played college basketball. I was in the military. I was a banker. I got kids, but like,
you like the journey itself. It wasn't what you expected at all.
No, not at all, dude.
Not at all.
And I said it the other day. It's just like weed definitely changed my life. So
And that's a good question about weed changing your life. If you could only smoke weed or do art for the rest of your life, what would it be?
that's such a shitty question, bro. I would obviously do art for the rest of my life.
I don't know. You just said weed changed your life.
No, think about it. Because imagine like art in itself is everything. Think about it. Like growing weed, the art of me just rolling all that backwood. Right? I wouldn't be able to function. Like as a human being.
You could still do all those things.
No, you wouldn't. Like
You just can't smoke it.
Bro, you need creativity. Right. I would be able to touch weed.
You're growing weed.
I would happily do that, bro. I would be way more satisfied.
I'm going to paint instead. I will paint instead.
I'd paint with blunts.
Can't believe he asked me that shitty question. I will paint instead.
Nah, dude.
Definitely
smoke weed.
Art right away.
I would
You're not a smoke weed every day.
Oh,
Rest in peace, Nate.
definitely a smoke weed every day type of person.
But not if you had this.
But if I had,
ultimatum.
yeah, dude, like there's choices. I got kids,
Yeah.
so it's just like
You can still like do all these other fun things though.
totally. So it's just like
Sure, you want to
everything
take
in
it back?
moderation.
Because actually, God is here, and that is your choice.
He's at the door. He's like,
walks through the door.
we need to talk.
Brad wasn't just asking me that question.
You've been calling into work a lot. We're here. You're painting graffiti in the parking lot again, Ruben.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious. So walk me through your creative process then. With or without weed? Doesn't like is it typically paired with cannabis?
Precursor, because like a lot of kids and shit tap into what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Especially teenagers.
Yeah, you're saying.
But like to one thing like vehemently, like as much weed as I smoke, like I don't need it to create. Sometimes I create from like a way more rapid fire place of like I'm less high. Like if I just wake up, drink coffee, and get straight to it, and then like hit my bong at fucking 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, there seems to be like a misconception. I feel.
Yeah,
in the world that smoking weed makes you creative.
No,
it's
there's
that's not one of.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I've ever seen an engineer or producer sit there and chain smoke through fucking a studio session.
Right.
No, there's work to be done. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously, there's like
But also,
everything in moderation.
it affects people differently as well.
Yeah, totally. So like for me, where like there are days where I'm like smoking way heavier. It's like I understand my own internal biology.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hella difficult for like a teenage kid to like try to deal with like their parents' divorce and their girlfriend not texting them back and their homies at practice and like all of these other like growing up things.
Yeah.
And then like not understanding that shit, weed made weed's probably having this sort of effect on my brain chemistry.
Yeah,
So, like,
weed's like the original AI.
yeah. Yeah. Yo, dead
Just
ass.
a little assistance for everybody.
Yep. Just like, okay.
It's all organic AI.
Totally.
Yeah. That's,
So, like,
that's an interesting take.
So me understanding like where I function from, like, hell yeah, I know, like, to do this podcast, I was like, I'm gonna smoke 2 or 3 joints because where was my head all day long?
Right.
Hyper analytical. I needed to fucking be on and plan and plot and scheme.
Absolutely.
And like for this podcast, like, shit,
It's totally appropriate.
I just need to chill,
let
feel.
loose.
So I'm like, cool. I'm gonna
Yeah.
burn down for a minute, and then when
Yeah.
I'm here, I'm even gonna burn down and like. On
Yeah,
my
you
way
burned
back.
down before you got here.
Yeah, I'll burn down when I'm leaving too.
God, come on in.
The police are like, hey, sir.
911. No, that's not what they say. 911. Clearly I'm high.
Brad's always
911. We're here. What's your emergency? Do you ever feel like you're in competition with like the other artists out there? Does it feel like a healthy competition out there? Or is it more of a camaraderie? It's a team.
Yeah, I
Like,
hate to sound super cliche. One, I feel like in order to be good, you gotta be naturally competitive.
for sure.
Fuck yeah, bro, I'm super competitive.
Yeah.
Mad competitive.
Yeah.
But ask anybody who's ever like been on a team with me or played an actual sport against me. Like, as much as I'm trying to eat you alive, like, yeah, I understand we're both out here attacking the same mission. So I got nothing but respect. So, like, that's why I love sports. Am I going to sit there and watch every game? Absolutely not. But I've played all of them. Football, basketball, baseball growing up. I understand what it's like to be on a team.
Is there
collect a
beefs
goal.
in the graffiti community?
In the graph community, yeah, totally. In the mural scene, not as much.
Is that what they
Street
call it,
art
the
scene.
graph community?
Yeah, like, well, graffiti scene out
Yeah.
here, whatever you want to call it. I call it the graph scene.
Well, you're in the scene, so that's got to be what it...
Yes. I mean, there's always beef, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just the culture. It's just like rap. right?
I'm an outsider. You know what I mean?
So you're always going to see people going over each other, and this guy's a toy, and,
Yeah.
you know, fuck you, and all that. Like, yeah, there's hella beef.
There's like, and people probably like there's like territories.
More so, yeah, I want to. Yeah, even in the city, there's like walls and crews and alleys and buildings that you just don't touch because they belong to that crew. And
That's
So, like,
crazy.
yeah, I know dudes who've got like pulled up on, bro. Like we've been on
By
on
other
commission, bro. And there's plenty
Graffiti
of-
teams.
Yeah, me, I'm always like a cooler head prevails type shit.
Mm-hmm.
You never want to see anything escalate to tragedy. Like one time I had like I was attacked by a homeless person painting on a mural festival.
Okay.
And I had to put him in the hospital. What? Yeah, I mean, it sounds cool, but it was just also like a reality check to just like, holy fuck, dude, this is like, I don't know, like as dangerous as like illegal graffiti is.
Yeah.
It's like I got nothing but respect for my female counterparts on a ladder in a lift, painting in broad daylight in the summertime and stuff like that. 'Cause,
Doing murals.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro, because like you're
Well,
just-
murals seem to be like catching on so much more as we go along in the future, where it's like that should be kind of the way of life. I feel like in cities in America specifically, because
More
it's such a
cities
big
will-
part of the culture.
Yeah.
I mean, Denver's such a. I mean, the one behind you is.
It's a fucking that one. The Robin Williams one
Robin
is
Williams
huge. Pat Milbury did that one. And it's still right over there off 13th.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's awesome. And like every city, like, you're able to sort of like establish an identity behind like your sports team. One thing that was dope about COVID, I know people don't say that.
Yeah.
But just like sports shut down, you couldn't go to the fucking bars, you couldn't do anything. But like painters were still on their ladders,
Yeah.
getting it.
Well, I think, and just for our listeners and me alike, going into this interview, I don't think a lot of people know the difference between murals and graffiti at times. They don't actually understand that,
Right.
some are actually illegal, some get permission, some are, but all together it's art.
Truly. And like, I love being able to. One of the things we did was the Zilla Charter, where we did like the art tours. We let the artists come on and like take people around while they smoked weed in the buses, and sort of like explain the culture to them, explain why these pieces exist. Like, it's important, yeah, because as much as there is illegal graffiti, one, there's huge skill and art and discipline involved in that. And yeah, those people, for me, the reason why graffiti is so important, illegal graffiti is so important, is like I get paid to do what I do.
Right.
I get asked to do what I do. I've reached a point in my career, people are like, do what you want. Like, I don't get asked to paint something. The last time somebody asked me to paint a flower, I just could not. Like, not because I couldn't paint the flower, but just like, I don't want to. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I feel like doing.
Yeah, you don't like having an assignment. You want to do whatever you want.
Right, like creating from an authentic place, like bougie and.
And is that what kind of the relationship that happened with Spark and that project?
So when it came to Spark, I was unique because like I kind of was burnt out when it came to just like doing walls and stuff. I had just come off of a year of like touring, traveling and painting mural after mural, and I could have just shit out a mural. I told them, I was like, this wall is going to be 10K. And they were like, cool, let's do it. And then I was like, even thinking for myself, like, what's my next move? Like, what I got going on all year?
Right.
Type shit. And I was like, you know what? I've been sitting on this idea for like this immersive experience in Las Vegas for a couple years. So I just like took that idea, pitched it to them. And I was like, look, dude, I'll come in as like a creative director. I'll push buttons. I'll put people where they're supposed to be. I'll bring you all the right people, and I'll make you the right experience.
And I was just there yesterday, and you did exactly that. Dude.
Bro, they trusted me, and like, you know, literally after this, I'm going back to go just do some more. Like,
and tell our listeners where this is.
Oh man,
and maybe about the grand opening.
For sure, I-70 in Colorado. Just look up Spark Dispensary.
Yeah.
I'm high. The address escapes me. It's off of Colorado Boulevard. But Saturday, April 29th. Fuck me.
Oh my August. Whoa, dude.
Saturday, April 29th. All day long.
Are we gonna make it around 4, dude?
Yeah.
You
absolutely.
got round 4 in you?
We got another joint ready to go.
No, we're doing the.
Oh, we gotta roll up another blunt.
No, we're doing the vape pen.
Oh, the 710.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You know what I thought?
Roasted.
I thought this would be a perfect time for the VR.
Yeah.
Yep.
That. It says record.
Boom, record, start recording.
Yep.
Damn, you really are walking me through this. This is crazy. Cool. You remember all this shit.
Bro, I live in this.
This is insane.
All right, so you're in there?
Okay.
Recording?
Yeah.
So you can just, all right, you're back to normal?
Push resume.
Oh, yeah, hit resume.
Boom. Okay.
Now you're recording,
We're recording, baby.
So, look down at your hand.
Okay.
Okay, and there should be a little guy with a cape on.
Yep.
Is he selected?
I selected them.
Make sure he's selected.
Yeah.
That way you can fly. So now wherever you point, you're going to fly. Up, down, left, right, back.
Okay.
Point and pull this trigger. Nope, not this hand.
Oh, sorry.
It should be this. No, not this.
This
finger.
guy?
This finger right there.
This guy.
Are you flying yet?
No.
All right, so select fly
Fly.
with this button.
This button. Oh, that one.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Oh!
Oh yeah.
I'm flying!
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
Uh-huh.
Okay. Wait a second.
Uh-huh.
Where the hell am I?
Yeah. So if you want to go back, point behind you. If you want to go, if we were in a spinny chair, this would be a lot easier.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah. I've had people fall standing up.
What the
shit.
fuck, dude? I'm in a stream.
So if you follow that stream, you'll go around into a cave. So when I do this,
You made this place?
everything you see there. I
Rube?
made by hand.
Bro, there's weed in here.
Yep.
What?
I made that too.
Shut up. Bro, this is fucking amazing. So are you in here with me?
I'm not in that one with you. I'm in a different one.
Okay.
Mine is a California version. So what I do is I take these experiences, I make them unique to the brand that sort of commissions me.
Okay.
And instead of like doing a pop-up, we're like, hi, my name's Kyle. Here's the fucking lanyard.
I love that line. You got like a
I love
bit
it.
going. You got a bit going. You did it. You said this yesterday.
I've been pitching that one for a
I
good year.
love
That's
it.
great.
That's how I literally sold it to the company. But it's the
That's what's up, dude.
yeah, you're being able to kind of enhance that pop-up experience.
Yeah,
You know?
way more. This is, I mean, dude, this is genius, bro.
So now I'm gonna ask you, find the mushroom garden. If you find the mushroom garden, I'm gonna give you a free vape cart.
Mushroom Garden for a free vape cart.
So now you're in there playing.
You got any other prizes?
I got a pound of weed.
I like this big pound of weed you had over here. Wait, hold on. There's fake weed in here.
So like another.
Oh shit, dude! I went through the wall. I went underneath.
That's cool. I hid gold inside of those things.
I see the gold.
Yep. So like.
What is this? Oh, I found a secret button.
Underneath?
Yes, I did.
Nice. Okay. So all right, yeah, you would have won.
Woo!
So now, like, if I was the, obviously the concierge or whatever, the person walking you through, I'd be like, sick, you win all these fucking.
Yeah, dude.
So now, like, you winning that lanyard or the T-shirt.
Dude, you're so.
That's
This
way
is
more
great,
fun.
dude.
Yeah, you're not just like burning money on product.
What do you call this, Rube?
The program I got it as Rube VR.
That's what's up.
So me being able to strategically license it out to certain companies, for experiences.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you protect your bag and shit.
Incredible,
Thank
dude. Incredible.
Thank you.
That recorded everything.
Cool. Yeah, it'll stop once I shut it off.
That was
Nice.
amazing. That was amazing. That was amazing. I completely see your vision, no pun intended. I mean,
LOL.
But dude, what the hell? That's fucking incredible.
Thank you, dude.
That really is so dope. So you have it. That is the. I mean, it's a perfect place to at Spark.
Yep.
Because it's so open.
Yep.
Ah, dude.
I mean, so the vision behind Spark was not having another like cattle herded experience. Right now, up until now, minus a few places, but like every dispensary I've been to is like an extension of the college, like a college dorm room in Boulder, where it's just like the poster on the wall and a neon sign. I said that yesterday.
you got I'm like you got
Again,
you got these bits.
Bro, I'm good with my words.
Yeah,
Poppy.
man.
I'm media trained.
Well, yeah. Man. Well, the thing is you're passionate about it.
For sure.
Because
yeah.
and it shows when you go there. Because not only do you have the VR experience. When I was there yesterday, you showed me this other experience.
An augmented reality.
Yeah,
experience.
dude. Like, what is like? Tell the listeners more about this.
Again, yeah, man. Just being able to maximize the experience, right? I was always a tech kid.
Mm-hmm.
I loved PlayStation when that dropped. I had all the Nintendos, which is
Same.
like
Super Nintendo all the way.
Right,
I was
man,
a Super
so-
Nintendo kid.
and I'm sure you have a pair of Bluetooth headphones. So it's just like I live in 2023.
Yeah.
Understanding that like technology, right? You watch like where you invest, right? You invest in like medicine, tech, and property.
Yeah.
And like me investing in medicine is my involvement in cannabis. Like property, hell yeah, dude. Each one of my kids is gonna have a crib somewhere on this planet. And technology, I feel like that's really where I am. If I'm able to kind of like cross all of those things together, property being retail spaces now, moving more than just like painting graffiti. I understood early on where I was like, all right, I can't get caught by the police doing this. I have 3 children to feed, and I have to go to work in the morning. How the fuck does this make sense? Also, like I smoke a lot of weed, so I can't be spending grocery money on weed. So what is that like? So in the beginning, I remember just like taking on cannabis commissions just so I could, to afford medicine.
Yeah.
Graciously, it was like companies like the Dab, Lance Perryman, Jason with Dialed in Gummies, and like there's countless other people who I can name for hours, but like those people in the cannabis industry really helped me find like financial security, not just by handouts, but like just consistent work in the sense of like understanding my vision as far as what I was creating as an artist.
Yeah.
And not just like, oh, this is some cool graffiti, put it up. So very early on when Lance Perryman had me do the first dab on Alameda with my faces, this came right after I had a Timbuktu backpack collab. And that shit was another fluke. So,
And by fluke, you mean like a happy accident.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A happy accident in the sense where like a friend was managing a store and like draw on this. The CEO of the company was in town for a party, and she just so happened to see the bag. At the same party I was like, I'm going to change your life. And she did. Shout out Patty Cazzato.
Hey, Patty.
Always say it every time. But just like from there, understanding like, all right, this art could be more than me just getting up. And just like Banksy, we said, if the point of getting up is getting up, but like if I'm on all your Coca-Cola cans and your Oreo packages, I'm winning.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, and going from what you were just talking about, like the early days of Rubezilla, and now you're You're literally creating
dude, it's
packaging for cannabis companies. Like,
It's
this
just
is
being
insane.
able to put other artists in that position to do the same thing as well as something that like I like even this one specifically at the time when I came over, I didn't just want to Rubezilla everything. So I worked with one of the
Don't be mad at me. Was the Statue of Liberty any inspiration?
yeah, I'm a New Yorker, bro. What's up?
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Always.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, no, I actually worked with a bud tender at the time on all of the aesthetic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why like it's not Rubezilla faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously faces.
This looks like the my first DMT trip, the first being that I met.
Oh man.
She came out of the wall.
Mine was blue.
Mine too. Yeah, like a grasshopper.
That's cool.
It's
Mine was like an
crazy.
icy lady.
Yes. She put her elbow on the end stand and stared at me, and hieroglyphics came out of her eyes. Wow. Yeah, it was insane. She looked a lot like this. That's why what's crazy about art is like it reminds you of things that you can't explain.
Right. It brings you back to a familiar place. So like again, good art. It doesn't. People are like, oh, what do I paint? And when I
What
stopped,
inspires it?
when I just started to like feel on the paper, like what does the marker feel like when I touch the paper?
Mm-hmm. You
You
just go with it.
That's when I like started to create from a raw place. Like these faces, look up the story. I don't have to get into it.
Everybody knows Rubezilla, whether you do or not. If you drive down Denver, you will see these faces. And if you haven't seen these faces in Denver, you've seen these faces if you've been on some sort of psychedelic journey of some sort.
Right. Yes.
You know what I'm talking? It's like you've tapped into something there, man. Like no bullshit, man. I knew about you before I knew about you. Is what I'm saying.
Dude.
You know.
Thank you.
So before we close out this
Sure.
with our last
Or 710 pod.
yeah, 710 pod sending us to an Uber straight after this.
Straight up.
Can you walk us through how the marker faces were born?
Okay.
The signature. I mean, is it your signature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely like what you think Keith Haring, you think of his stuff like Rubezilla's what I'm
That is tasty.
very proud. These I love. I love good rosin cards. Bro.
I realize we're high because I asked you a serious question. I just got totally distracted by that. And earlier when you said something about the lady Patty, a thought, instead of like if a sober person would just not say it, hi Brad was like, Patty. I don't even know her.
Yeah.
Patty.
I don't know what Patty's doing right
Patty's
now.
listening. She's like, who the fuck is that?
Dude, one time I got plenty of stories. We don't got time. But anywho,
Well, we gotta have you on again.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Why not, man?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
To
just
be continued.
I'll
Yeah.
have to be a co-host eventually.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm gonna say give me a cover. Maybe I'll talk about some shit in an
Yeah,
article for you guys.
I'll pull
Rooster,
some strings for
you
you.
heard it here live. We gotta get this guy on the cover.
So the faces, I've told this story a few times, like in print and in interviews and stuff, and like I won't shy away from telling it, because they were birthed from a pretty traumatic experience. I told you how like I wanted to just do art full time. I was still like trying to figure out what my style was.
Mm-hmm.
I had watched a dude at work. I took over being a security guard at a hotel, the Magnolia, off of 17th and Stout. And just like a month into that job, I watched a guy jump off a roof. And I was the first responder there, so like I had to like, it was rough, bro. It fucked me up really
Yeah.
bad.
Could imagine, dude. That's crazy.
And I didn't leave work, just from perception things. And the healthy thing would have been go home and like go sleep that one off.
Yeah.
But instead I stayed at work and I like grabbed a stack of paper and I stole a box of Sharpies from like the fucking in graffiti fashion, right? You gotta rack your supplies.
For sure.
I stole a box of Sharpies.
In bulk.
And I just started to draw these eyes, right, that were very reminiscent of like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the first time. I think like a day or two before I had remembered drawing it for the first time. But these certain eye shapes, I had always doodled these when I worked at the banks and sat at desks and shit. And it was a familiarity, right? And If you look at the eyeballs, they spell, it's an O, a J, and an O, and in Spanish it's ojo, right?
Right.
So that's where why I've always drawn my eyes in that shape, even being younger.
Okay.
My grandmother taught me what ojos were when I was a little kid with that. So like she had drew a J, and it was the nose and the two eyeballs.
No shit.
And
That's
it's
crazy.
Yeah, dude, something stuck with me my whole life.
So you were doing this at an early age, even before.
I didn't understand. Maybe I wasn't doing these faces,
Mm.
but I like anytime I had ever drawn or doodled, my version of a smiley face was an eyeball, a hooky nose, an eyeball, and then eyebrow. But the eyebrow thing and the nose thing became very intentional later on as I was like crafting them. That
Yeah,
first
they're
night,
so in like
yeah, bro. There's like a lot of it's not just
layered and
bro. I can break it down for you. There's like a lot of sacred geometry baked into it. So I told you I was like well versed into like my whole psychedelia and all of that
Egyptian
before.
stuff.
Yeah, and like even reading philosophy and shit, and
Mm-hmm.
just like really tapping in with the human spirit.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes I kind of get a little taste of like Charles Bukowski. Would that be an inspiration, maybe?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, artists who tap into the conversation of a collective consciousness is why you have the myriad, why everything's so gossamer and tied together, and obviously that's to represent. It's just like energy is infinite, and like this experience that we continue to relive. We're regenerated, and like eyes being windows of the soul, that speaks for itself.
100%.
But in the sense of like what that shape truly represents is like if you go back to the Egyptians and graffiti and what the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra stood for, and it was really like your senses, right? The senses of man.
Yeah.
And like you have two of those, so you do have it's your duality, right? And the polarity baked into that, which is your feminine and your masculine. So the reason why the nose hooks off of the right eye and the eyebrow hooks off of the left is very intentional to represent like that split in our consciousness. Dealing with like the trauma from the hotel, like there's a bunch of shit that I saw there. I know we're supposed to be laughing and we're getting heavy.
No, you're good. Good. Hey,
I saw some fucking.
hey, bro, round 4 can go. There's no rules to this, dude. Yeah, that's what's cool about cannabis too, right? Like, makes us feel comfortable talking about
for
stuff.
sure. And like for me, it's just like I'm glad to be where I am now, like healed from a place. At the time, like, bro, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't function.
Yeah,
like
that's something that's like so traumatic.
baked into like my divorce at the time.
And
Like
when it rains, it pours, as they say.
dog, yeah. So it like really fucked my life up. The faces, the more success that like people saw, like in my life.
The more pressure and the more shit you were going on behind the scenes.
Well, like my life was like taking off, right? And if I was sort of like trusting this ride in this process where I was like, okay, I'm taking this very extreme and painful situation or whatever, and I wanted to tell stories about like, the shit that's hard to talk about. Put that in these funny fucking faces, right?
Yeah.
Make people color them while they think about that shit. So, sort of being able to like transmute that energy is what I did for a long time.
Well, and it shows, dude. I mean, like, where was the first one? I gotta know.
First one was it's inside the Magnolia Hotel, illegally on the back of a door I don't know if they had like painted over yet, but it's on the back of a stairwell door inside. And then I did a couple of doors right in the alleys of 16th Street, like over there off Stout.
Yeah.
And 17th. I dropped my marker in human shit once. That's how I knew that was it's gross. I didn't pick it back up, don't worry. Yo, graffiti's so nasty. But being a security guard doing graffiti, when you finally find your style, oh boy. I was fucking it up in the beginning because I would take jobs just to like stay up all night. Go fuck
to
around
the graveyard
alley.
shift?
Yeah, dude. And like then I was really getting up.
Too.
See, and then like the graveyard shift is something that like
it teaches you something.
It's the next part of this conversation, which is like mental health.
Yeah.
And like it was like a hot key to this last half a decade where people were like, oh, cool. If I say mental health, it's trendy. And,
right.
But as a person who's like diagnosed with bipolar too, and PTSD from compound shit in life. We all fucking go through things. We go through car accidents. Some people get attacked, and so like trauma's not linear for people and stuff. So that's why I always believe like whatever I do down to these headsets, like my main initiative is like how do I get them in the hands of like fathers and mothers who are trying to rehabilitate from the military, right? So like how do I get Jack Daniels to fucking pay for all my homies who can't stop drinking your shit,
right?
Including myself. I love me a Jack and Coke. But
this is actually a sponsored ad.
But yeah,
Jack Daniels, thanks for fucking everything up. Yeah, but also we love you.
Thanks for letting me fuck it up with you. But like being able to like reach out and appropriately like marry some of these like sponsorships where it makes sense, like healthily and like responsibly. Yeah. Like fuck yeah, dude. Nothing's wrong with drinking. Like, but alcoholism is rampant. How do we meet in the middle? And like, where do I come in and can interject? Is that headsets? Is that like?
You already did, I think you're already doing it through your art, man.
Yeah. I don't think the mission's done though.
Yeah, well, it never is.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to be one of these, I know you are, just based on our conversation today, that you're going to be one of these people that really makes a big difference in a lot of people's lives the longer you're alive.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah, dude, I commend you. Humbling. Yeah, man. For anybody listening, where could they see you next? Where do you do like live art ever?
Not anymore. I try not to. Just because like I do have a lot of things cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a busy man.
Yeah, I got to make the music that you party to, as Aubrey Drake Graham would say. It's one of my favorite quotes that keeps me working.
Yeah, I like that.
But Spark Dispensary, one is like my latest pride and joy. I'm there a lot mainly because like I got to make sure it doesn't burn down in the first year.
Yeah, you're the creative director.
Yeah. Damn, that's pretty crazy to think about. But maybe if you guys paid a little bit of attention to PBS Kids here within the next year, you might see a familiar face or two.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I pitched a show, and I'm currently writing one.
That's what's up, dude.
PBS Kids.
That's exciting.
So that's like really where my focus is now and stuff. So,
when do you know will that be aired this year?
The sooner I want to get it in.
Yeah.
The concept is hella fresh, and like it's already greenlit, and I'm good to go.
That's
so now
badass.
It's just kind of like I actually get my like tour of our desk and everything like that tomorrow. Got a green screen room and shit, and a sound stage, and a guy named Mike with white hair and shit. He's been there for 30 years.
I love Mike with white hair. Hey, Mike. Mike, hey.
Yeah, man. So.
Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Oh, dude. Well, thank you so much for being on the Tokes Jokes podcast, bro. Yeah, this was awesome.
I would love to be back anytime.
You will be back. Ladies and gentlemen, Rubezilla, Tokes Jokes, Cannabis. Thank you for our sponsors. We are high AF. Good night.